What's going on, guys? It's Jason here. Today I got a lobster video for you guys. I ended up going to the East Coast with my buddy Chad. He's got commercial lobster permits, so we did a commercial lobster trip. Here's a little bit of what I brought home, and they ended up selling the rest. I got a couple nice spiny lobsters. My buddy Dalton caught this nice slipper lobster and these couple of channel crabs. And we all caught a handful of Spanish lobsters or spotted spiny lobsters. I'm going to show you how I clean them today. I got a couple little tricks I'm going to try for them. And we actually got something special to do with the heads on this I guess later on today. I don't know if I'm going to add it into this video. It'll probably be in the next video because it's going to be something pretty cool. But we're going to prep them for it today in this video. I'm going to go through and clean these guys for you, but first I'm going to show you one of the really cool rocks that I found that was absolutely loaded with them. And then I have a really special lobster I'm going to show you at the very end of it. It's a super rare lobster. I've been looking for one for probably 8 or 9 years now, and I finally got it. But I'll show that to you at the end. So here I'm going to start out with just any of the lobsters that are out on the outer edges anyway. I'm trying to catch all of them to make sure I get all of the keepers. These first couple were short, but I had to measure them anyway and at least get them out of the way so they're not spooking the big ones. I'll cut a little bit of that out and get back into the good action here pretty soon, but I'll catch these first couple anyway. So I ended up catching about, I think, 45 lobsters or 47 lobsters on this one particular dive, and a majority of them were on this rock, the rock to the left, and then there's a rock out to the right. I don't know if I've got any of the video of that in here where I was pulling them out of there, but I would basically let the dust settle here and go and get one or two on that further rock and then swim back. I'm not going to show you catching every single one of them. I just got quite a few of them in here to show how fast you can get them and different ways of tickling them out and whatnot. But we definitely got a bunch of them on this. This was a honey hole. Chad was actually on a really good rock himself as well. He got into the boat just as I was coming up after I filled up the second bag. So I'll keep on showing you some more. So as you can see, this is the back side of the rock, and it was just as loaded as the front, and it actually goes all the way underneath. It's a hollow crevice underneath there, and it is just tight as can be. There's a nice little green moray eel right there I was kind of playing with. I was watching him the whole time too. I mean, he was side by side with me for the entire dive. He was watching me. So this is the reason why I like bringing that tickle stick along with a snare. I know a lot of people just use the snare and nothing else, or a tickle stick and a net, but I like bringing the tickle stick and the snare because you can get them, you can basically move them where you want to and then snare them, so you don't have to get all the way in there. The fiberglass tickle sticks work a lot better in my opinion than the metal or even using the snares. I can get them to do what I want them to do a lot easier. Sometimes they'll take a little bit harder hit with that fiberglass to get them to do what you want, but usually you can finesse them into doing, you know, going anywhere you want them to go anyway. Now that I've made some commotion on the back side of this rock, a couple of them that were way up underneath there have started moving back out to the front, so I can start picking them off again. And I was just going back and forth, going around this rock, get a couple of them here and a couple of them there. And like I said, there was another rock out in the distance, and I would swim out and get one or two over there every now and then to let it calm down on this first rock.
I got 2 yards. I got another one. I'll break it. Huh?
That was rapid lobster. All the easy ones around it, but they're dug in everywhere.
Holy. I think there were still a couple more keepers there, but not many. I hit like 3 rocks all in one spot.
My spot definitely has no keepers.
You mark it?
Should I bring 2 bags?
Woo! I still got 1,500 pounds when we get back in.
That's a tight bag. It might be kind of hard to get it out. Once you get a couple of them going though. There you go. Oh, and there's a bottle. Forgot about that.
You think it break?
Yeah. I think it's a Coke bottle actually. That was almost anticlimactic. There's the crab. Nice. So those rocks are absolutely cool in that area. It's not real deep and it's usually clear water. It gets a little bit murky at the end of the day when the tide ends up changing, but it's way better than what we did on mini season. Mini season we got bigger lobsters for sure, but the water was just unbelievably dirty. I think some of it was, 5 to maybe 10 foot of visibility, and keeping track of a kid and a girlfriend at the same time, it'll get to you sometimes. But we got her done. We got some big ones on that trip too, but I'm going to show you just kind of what we got on this trip. I might throw a couple clips later on of our mini season trip, just because I didn't take a whole lot of video because the visibility was so bad, but I'll show you at least a little clip or whatever of how bad it was.
That's true. Water and water. I got it. I got it. Oh, Yeah. I got it.
I'm gonna get to cleaning these guys here. The crabs, we put them on ice just because we couldn't deal with them right away, and more than likely the meat will stick into them, but it is what it is, you know. We kind of had to do what we had to do. So in this bucket over here, I got a salt brine, salt water and ice mixed. I just used this Morton's sea salt or iodized table salt, whatever. So I'm gonna go through and take my knife and cut along the back. These have been on ice for 2 days, so you can see that little bit of black there is kind of like, I would say they're blood. So I'm gonna clean up any of this goop that I can, and then I'm gonna throw the whole tail in the salt brine to start washing any of that off. I think that salt brine really helps preserving your seafood. I do it with all my shrimp, and I have shrimp in the freezer that's 1.5 years old. That will taste better than any restaurant around. So here's something out of the unordinary anyway. Most people don't get to see these. This is a Spanish slipper lobster. It's a huge one at that. Big female. You can see where it would normally hold its eggs. If it had eggs, you're allowed to take them as long as they don't have eggs. There's actually no size limit, no season on these guys either. They've got these little paddles as their antennae, and they have little beady eyes. They're tucked in right now, you can't see them, but they're like a bluish color eye. Little blue tip on their smaller feeler antennas, and very short rigid legs. We have a couple other species of these here in Florida. I only have one over on my side that I can catch in the shallower waters anyway, which is a rigid slipper. It looks a little different, but same kind of body shape, just a little bit texture difference. These ones here, like the spiny lobsters, you can just twist them without a knife. These ones here you cannot twist without a knife. I haven't been able to anyway. So I just go through and do a little cut, top and bottom, because they got extremely strong skin, and then you can pull it right apart. No big deal. It's got a pretty nice meat onto it. That whole tail is slapped full of meat. It's much wider. I know it looks like it's thin and it doesn't hold a lot, or like it's a bunch of shell, but compared, it's much wider than the spiny lobster, so there's a ton of meat in there. We'll do the same thing. I may end up mounting this for him, I don't know. I haven't really thought about what I'm gonna do yet. We got the spotted lobsters. I'm gonna do the same thing as the spinies. You can see some of that juice coming out, that's all right. We got the yellow jackets that found me. They love lobsters around here. I just dealt with a bunch of them yesterday too, so they already kind of know me here. They don't bother you though, as long as you're not swatting at them. These guys here get about, I'd say the biggest that I've seen them is just in that keeper spiny lobster range. Again, these ones don't have a size limit or a season either. This is a big male. As long as they don't have eggs, you can take them all year. And we've seen a bunch of them but we only caught a few just because they're much harder to catch because they're smaller and they tuck way up underneath the rocks. But we just grabbed a couple easy ones as we were getting our spinies. Now, commercial spiny lobster, he's got a dive permit for spiny lobster. The vessel trip limit is 250 lobsters. We were allowed to harvest 250. It doesn't matter how many people you have on the boat. There's not an individual limit. So you will see us catching bagfuls of lobsters. Now, they've been commercially harvesting lobsters like this for years and years and years. I mean, as long as I can remember, and probably a lot longer. Probably longer than I've been alive. And we can still go out and get this kind of quantity of lobsters, and it doesn't hurt the population. There's only a certain number of dive permits that they allow to give out. I don't know what the number is. I heard it's something small, maybe like in the 30s. Don't quote me on that one though. So this is still sustainable. I know it's more than recreational harvest what we're catching, but the state allows us to do it, and this is how you get seafood into your local restaurants and markets, other than people catching them or importing them from another country. So we're trying to keep stuff local with this. I know I'm probably going to get a little bit of hate when you see bags full of lobsters, but it's legal to do. He's got all the permits to do it, and it's been sustained and caught and harvest lobsters this way for years and years and years without hurting the population. So they're doing something right. They're not over harvesting, so we're able to do this year after year after year. We even had good success last year at the end of season where we were getting 200 plus per trip on several trips at the end of season. So it's sustainable throughout the season this way. So I got all those wrapped up. I know I said I was gonna show you something special, so here it is. I ended up at the very end of the day, not the last dive, I did one more after that, but we were pretty much done after this dive. I caught a Brazilian smooth-tail lobster, very, very rare. I think I read a while back, because I've heard of them before. I do some taxidermy. I'm actually gonna mount the one that I caught. I guess I've read before that there's like reportedly 25 of them caught in Florida throughout the year. I'm sure there's some more that are unnoticed because a lot of people don't know what they are. I posted a couple pictures of it on one of the online forums, and everybody thought it was a spiny lobster. Or not everybody, but there were several people that did. It was kind of weird to see that people thought it was the same thing because they don't look anything alike. But I'll show you a clip of catching it and some close-ups of video that I got on the boat. It was super, super cool. But anyway, thank you guys for watching and tuning in, and I'll show you that smooth tail right now. See ya.
That's what I'm talking about. Oh my God. Yo! Look what I got. Yeah, it's a smooth tail. It's missing 2 legs. I'm gonna see if I can't look for it, but I think it's already been missing them.
Look at that pretty thing. Little Spanish guy. A couple channel crabs. Look at those legs. Green legs. Definitely an exotic. I've been trying for a lot of years for one of them.